Welcome back to Healthy Prophetic 101. This is tip number 8, and this tip is called keeping your lens clean. That's right, keeping your lens clean. I want to jump right to Matthew chapter 6, verses 22 and 23. It says, the eye, and he's talking about your spiritual eye here because he says the eye, singular, is the lamp of the body. If your eye is healthy, your whole body is full of light. But if your lamp is darkness, how great indeed is that darkness? Or excuse me, it says, I want to make sure I get every word right for this. I have it pulled up on my computer. But if your eyes are unhealthy, your whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light within you is darkness, how great is that darkness? Isn't that interesting? If the light within you is indeed darkness, how great is that darkness? What do I mean by that? I mean, we've all been given a lamp. And there's something called black light, and there's something called blue light, and the physical realm, right? And everyone has a light, but the true light of the whole world, heaven and earth, is Jesus Christ. And you either are one with that light, or your light is indeed a different light. So having our eye singular, I love how it says keep your eye singular. It doesn't say keep it clean. It doesn't say make sure you obsess over the eye. It says keep the eye singular. So it's the singular that's the key to walking in Jesus' advice. Why does Jesus say keep your eye singular? Because there's only one single one who can fill your spiritual body and your natural body with this one true light. Amen. It's very interesting because when you go to New Age festivals, which I highly advise you don't do, you're asking for spiritual trouble. One of the biggest things in their language is they talk about different lights, and some lights have more power than other lights. Okay, so those are a great example of if the light is actually darkness, how great is that darkness? Amen. So you only want the one true light, the light of Jesus Christ. And it's super important. This translates crucially to the lifestyle of the prophetic, which the prophetic is simply discerning, sensing, and hearing God's voice and then relaying it to the people around you. And seeing Jesus clearly is everything. We talked about his tone of voice. We talked about his personality, his emotions, and his nature, right? If a spiritual word of understanding is correct, but it's not spiced up with the actual nature of the Christ and his heart towards humanity, it probably won't carry much weight. So learning to yield and be a vessel for God's personality connected to his revelation and his information is huge. But I want to just simplify this today and talk about keeping your lens clean. Okay, we have lens on our glasses. You have a lens or a filter which filters light. Amen. And when you keep it simple and keep your eye, your spiritual eye on Jesus, everything is clear, bright, and clean. In Hebrews chapter 1, it says, in times past, God spoke to his prophets and kings in many various different ways. But now, everyone say, but now. But now he speaks to us through his Son. And that's why having a healthy understanding that you're God's child is one of the foundational things that will help you prophesy a clean message. Amen. And one of the ways to help you get on the right track is even if God uses you to speak something that might seem kind of corrective or slightly confrontational or pointing out something that's clearly wrong, because Jesus brings conviction, and conviction is simply the spiritual knowledge of knowing between right and knowing what's wrong, is you always want the language, the attitude, and the heart of redemption. Everyone say redemption. Okay, redemption means bringing something to original design or bringing something like new. So even if you're prophesying, and like I said, it seems corrective in nature or drawing a line in the sand of right and wrong, everything should be with a light-hearted goal of redemption. That word redemption will keep you clean, because remember, when it came to Jesus, no one was too far gone. No one had sinned too much. No one had too many demons. Jesus saw the redemptive value in every human being, male or female, Jew or Greek. It didn't matter the race. It didn't matter the social, economic background. Nothing mattered other than every time he saw a human, he saw through his Father's eyes who he's one with and saw their redemptive value. So if that's your heart motive, everything you speak will carry redemptive power, because remember, only grace brings transformation to a human's heart or lifestyle. And when you speak the language of redemption through the one and only Son, that is what brings the transformation. And the number one way, besides speaking the language of redemption, is having a healthy understanding of judgment. Judgment is aimed after things that keep people from God. Judgment is not aimed at people. Judgments are aimed at things that keep people from God. Amen. And Jesus, when he died on the cross, he paid the penalty to cleanse you of all of your spiritual debt and aim judgment toward the things that were tricking you and holding you captive in various forms of addiction to evil lifestyle. Amen. So when we prophesy judgment, it's against things that are stealing, killing, and blinding people to truth. Amen. So whenever you bring a sharp word, make sure it's aimed at the thing or the spirit that's evil, not at the actual person. Does that make sense? And in order to keep yourself speaking the language of grace and seeing clearly, is to walk in radical, ongoing forgiveness, keeping your heart clean. Because remember what Jesus said in Matthew 7. He said, to the measure you judge, that measure will be given back to you. For some reason, people always think that talks about Judgment Day. But that context, and if you break down that language, he's actually saying what you give spiritually is what you'll reap spiritually. So if you are prophesying, preaching, teaching, or living with a language of judgment toward people, or comparative righteousness, I'm better than you, or you're better than me, or he's less than her, that is not the righteousness or judgment of God. Amen. So always lace your word with the motive of redemption and with no judgments at humanity. Even if it's correct knowledge, don't do the work of the accuser and bring a list of failures, okay? Aim a judgment of the thing that's wrong and call the people or the person or your loved one higher. Amen. I did my best to communicate this. I hope it's in a language you can understand. But God bless you. Keep your lens clean. Number one, knowing the goal is redemption in all circumstance, no matter how far gone something is. And number two, ongoing radical forgiveness. Because remember, mercy always triumphs over judgment. That's prophesying through the lens of the Son, not through the lens of the law of sin and death. Bless you all. I'll talk to you really soon. Message me if there's any questions. We're beginning to go deeper as the videos keep going, okay?